219! 219!
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.
We give you Forward Progress here on 312 Sports. It is a Chicago Bears podcast brought to you by Beer Church Brewing, New Buffalo's brewery-pizzeria in a historic church, wood-fired Neapolitan pizza, small batch craft beer, brunch every day. Visit beerchurchbrewing.com. I'm Dan Bernstein. That is Matt Abaticola. And the Bears are 6-3. They rack up another win over an opponent over whom they were favored, and they do so in what has become their typical fashion of spending too much time playing bad football until it matters, and they play good football, and then everybody finishes up happy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Jackson Dart this was his fourth concussion protocol in this season. I didn't realize it was that many. He's a better prospect in the NFL than I thought he was going into this game. I was rather impressed with his ability to make some throws, and then I'm not so sure about all the specific run calls for him and how that will have an impact with a guy who's already concussed four different times under protocol. Not sure. I think those run calls for the quarterback should continue playing on. Not so sure that he should continue playing on in this particular season, to be honest with you, in one that the Giants are not going to go anywhere at 2-8. I'm not even sure if their coach will remain the coach much beyond this season.
Well, you can't play the other guy. If your choice is that or Russell Wilson, I want to know what Plan C is.
Well, isn't Plan C Jameis Winston?
Fine.
Or is he not on? I thought he's on the Giants. I certainly wouldn't play Russell Wilson, but I'm just not sure that you want Jackson Dart going out there with his fourth concussion protocol for this waste of a season. He certainly is the guy moving forward, but that's not why you called. The Bears do get the win 24-20 over the Giants in a game that, at times the defense looked questionable on certain areas. They got some big plays when they needed it. One thing I wanted to look at was the run game, because these are two of the worst run defenses in the league by yards per carry going into this game. Statistically speaking, the Bears have looked better the last couple of weeks. But in this game, the Bears running backs averaged 5.4 yards per carry. That's Bears running backs only on 108 yards, 20 carries. On the other side, the Giants running backs averaged 4.1 yards per carry, 91 yards on 22 carries. So we're taking out what Jackson Dart did, what Russell Wilson did or didn't do. And the running backs finished at 4.1 yards per carry, down from the Bears average of, I think, 5.4 or 5.1 on the season going into this game. So much better look for the Bears run defense against the Giants running backs. Now, of course, Jackson Dart had some big plays that impacted the game until he was out. But I specifically wanted to look at what the Bears did against the Giants running backs.
Well, especially on first down. They were getting in all kinds of advantageous situations, and it was part of the reason why I was bothered by what they were allowing Jackson Dart to do, because that's how you draw it up. I mean, it was 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11 for the every time through. I have to look at my notes to determine exactly where, but that's certainly how it seemed, and they still couldn't get themselves off the field because of everything that was going on in those ensuing downs until later in the game. And obviously when Dart left the game and they were able to blitz more, I was very, very pleased that Dennis Allen understood the assignment late in the game and that the Bears were all on the same page with that, because defense is not great right now. I'm very concerned going into this part of their schedule how it's going to hold up against much, much, much better personnel.
Yeah, and I think the addition of C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been a really welcome addition these last 2 weeks. He's played rather well, 3 sacks, a forced fumble. He's made some timely plays. He's been good in coverage. Like, what would it look like without him these last couple weeks, where he's had a significant impact on these games, particularly in yesterday's game, with Edwards being out and with most of your secondary being injured and out as well? I understand what Dennis Allen is trying to do and why they're having some difficulty, but this is not going to look good against a team that can actually move the ball and have an efficient offense which the Giants certainly do not with those injuries and what they faced against the Bears yesterday.
No, some good news, though, is the improving play of Montez Sweat, who now is, I believe, the third Bear in their history to put together 4 consecutive games with a sack, joining Richard Dent and Khalil Mack, who I believe did it multiple times. But that's one list, as we know, a Bears all-time list that isn't completely embarrassing when you start talking about walking in those footsteps. Khalil Mack, by the way, still getting it done. Watching him last night and seeing some of the stuff that he was doing and watching their plan. I know this is that I'm digressing here, but before I forget, I thought that what the Chargers did to Aaron Rodgers last night was fascinating. And I do believe the Bears should be taking very close notes for the Steelers game they have upcoming. And that is a secondary disengagement pass rush that prevents Aaron Rodgers from climbing the pocket. There was an initial outside wave, whether or not you're at an 8 technique, a 9, a 7, coming in from the outside. Then, if blocked, then making sure that Rodgers could not do what he does and climb, and step past that. They were pushing off of the block and then chasing him down before he could set his feet. Mm-hmm. And it's clear that that was coached, that it was just not happening to happen, that the book is out on this iteration of Aaron Rodgers, and I loved that move. I loved that film work of realizing he's going he wants to wash you by the play and not have you come at him once he finds that little slack water in the front of the pocket. And they said, double back and chase him down. And I'll be damned, they were very successful doing it.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of Aaron Rodgers last year in his second season with the Jets, but I've seen a couple Steelers games so far this season, and he looks old. He looks old and slow, and he looks like what he is, a really good quarterback with a 20-year career that is just at the tail end of it. Even sitting on the bench, he looks like he's kind of not much longer for this type of play.
Yeah, well, Joe Flacco looked like that too, and he cut the Bears to ribbons, and I am concerned. I know we've got a couple of weeks here to worry about it, but I'm not counting out Aaron Rodgers against the Bears. I've got too much muscle memory.
He owns the Bears, right?
Yeah, there's just too much scar tissue, and I am until it's like the Terminator, until they melt him down or put him in the drill press or whatever they have to do. I'm always going to think that he's got something waiting for him. So I'm not gonna follow you into any Aaron Rodgers narratives until the Bears are done with him.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying last night what I saw was a guy on the bench that looked old and tired. So, and then with Odengbo out, want to just highlight a couple other guys on the defensive line, Austin Booker, and then the new Bear, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. I thought they played well. I know there was one particular play where Booker made a fake outside move and then snuck in on the tight end and then stuffed the run. I thought that was a really, really good read, a good use of his body on that play to make the stop on the run. And then I thought Shoyinka was going to get a sack on his first play as well too as a Chicago Bear. He was chasing from behind, but he's got all the things that we heard from Carmen Vitale about Shoyinka. He matched those things. He has the body and he has that high motor that doesn't stop. There were several plays where the play got downfield, and he was one of the later guys coming back into the view of play to make an attempt on the ball. So I like that his motor kept going. For a first showing, I thought he had a pretty good outing in some limited snaps. But Austin Booker, I thought played a decent game. One thing I want to say about Montez Sweat too, and again, 4 sacks, 4 games, and we've been on him from the start. Is there something breaking, or is there something significant?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The Giants have just fired Brian Dable.
What did I tell you? Said it.
So this is breaking
yesterday after the game, and just now.
This is breaking news that the Bears can take some credit for this, or maybe it speaks ill of the Bears if they say, "My goodness, you lost to the Bears like that? You're fired." Wow, Brian Dable is out, according to multiple sources right now, according to both Diana Rossini of The Athletic and ESPN. that Dayball Coach of the Year in 2022. He finishes up with a record of 20, 40, and 1. Brian Daboll is out, and I have absolutely no question whatsoever that he will find a comfortable and deserved job somewhere as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and so Coach of the Year in 2022, and then 23, 24, and now 25, he starts the season 2-7. All three of those years, now 2-8 with the loss to the Bears yesterday. And that play at the goal line when they get the penalty and they could move a half yard closer and decides to kick the field goal, that I'm telling you, Dave, we talked about it in the postgame show yesterday, that's the kind of thing that gets you fired. After a third consecutive 2-7 start and then losing that game yesterday and now losing 11 in a row on the road, I'm not surprised at all. So, and I know Zach Taylor, you mentioned, is on the coaching hot seat as well. I mean, the Bears are turning into coach killers.
And again, you hope it's a good thing. You hope it's not like when Northwestern
Jesus
beat
Christ, you lost to the Bears?
It's like when Northwestern beat Penn State. And Ben said, well, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
That can't happen. So the part of the Bears sort of syndrome here and is feeling that insecurity of, oh boy, I guess it's people like, you lost to the Bears? You're out of here. We can't keep you around. But that's breaking news during a podcast is always a fun thing because we get our initial reaction. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised at all.
I don't think one can be.
Yeah, I said it in our post game yesterday that's the kind of game that gets you fired. That decision at the goal line as well doesn't help anything for his cause. But Brian Daboll fired from multiple sources as the head coach of the New York Giants after a 24-20 loss at Soldier Field, their 11th straight road loss. They haven't won a game since October of last season on the road. Now, Montez Sweat, 4 games, 4 sacks. So that's great. I love it. I love his production. I was on the guy from the start of the season, follow the money. Where's the money at? DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, and their production levels. So good. He's producing. He's playing better. I know he is who he is as a player. He really, like, even that sack of
Dart?
Russell Wilson.
Of Wilson.
When Wilson's trying to get back to the line as close as he can, he looks like such an old head running in the backfield, man. It's just like I'm used to seeing these young, like even like a guy like Austin Booker and the way he moves. And I know that they're different bodies and they're going to move differently. He just runs like such an old head. It makes me laugh, but I'm glad he's getting production, and we're going to give him credit when it's out there for him to get the credit. It was hard on the guy to start the season, and he's getting to the quarterback and he's denting the pocket, making disruption during plays, and that's all you can ask the guy to do.
He got that sack, and then he split a sack in the first quarter on Dart on a 4th and 2. It was Sewell and Sweat who combined the credit for that. It was the first of many turnovers on downs, the most I've read that I remember seeing in an NFL game. It was.
Well, they said, it was the most this season.
Which will be broken because of the number of times the teams go for it now. It's a matter of time and obviously conditions and matchups, but that won't stand for long, perhaps not even this year.
So can I go through and take a look at these throws? Because I went back and watched the game again this morning just to look at – I wanted to count drops, and I wanted to see where the plays that Caleb Williams was off a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go back and see how many drops there actually were. And
all right, how many? See, I had 7. One official count had 6. How many did you have total?
I had as total number of drops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 as drops.
Okay,
6 as drops.
Okay.
There were. Now there was one play I wanted to. Well, I'll just go through this here real quick. Drops. So you have Monungai, Zacchaeus, Swift,
Moore,
Zacchaeus again, Odunze, Zacchaeus again, and Moore. Now, that Moore one, now you're calling the Moore in the end zone catch.
Yep.
I'm not. That's a really, and again, great throw by Caleb. That's a really hard catch to make where he was at. I know, I get it. And I
Paid
think,
to make
here's the
it.
thing. I think an elite level wide receiver makes that catch. DJ Moore is not that guy.
Well, that's sort of begging the question, though, because he's paid as that guy.
That's not his fault.
Whether you think, okay.
That's not his fault. It's not. I mean, if we want to pay a guy at a level that we believe he is when he's not, that's not on that guy. And I'll never begrudge a guy for getting paid more than he deserves. The same thing with Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat got a lot of money based on what we and what we hoped he was going to turn into, and I don't think he's that guy.
Were there any large conclusions based on your film study of these plays?
No, because there was not really. It was what I saw initially. I mean, there were still some plays that Caleb was off. There were some plays that he didn't make. He cost himself a touchdown. That overthrow to Rome in the end zone was an opportunity to score 7 or put 6 on the board that he didn't do. That was on him. There was the Zacchaeus drop in the end zone, which is completely on him. One thing that I will make a conclusion is that any snaps that OZ is out there should now belong to Luther Burden.
I was just going to say, my conclusion is more Luther Burden, however you want to do it. And if it comes in the return game, I'm fine with that too.
There was one thing there was one play that I think we would have called a drop by OZ watching the game initially, watching it again today, and this was in the second quarter. The throw was off the mark. He was completely covered, and it did go off his hands, but it would have been a tough play, so I'm not going to call that a drop there. That's just a combination of a tough play. There was an Odunze corner route that I thought was really bad. Remember, it was right at the end zone, and he gets stopped at the goal line, and it's just a bad throw. 2 consecutive plays where there were high snaps by Dahlman that Greg Olsen did call out, though, and he had to catch with one hand. That was one of those plays, so that threw off the timing of that play as well. The Colson Loveland catch for first down was a terrible throw that he makes an unbelievable catch.
Oh, that fingertip
gets an
catch.
extra one there.
Yes.
Extra one there that he wouldn't have normally. But yeah, overall, I'd say 6 drops. I think there were some opportunities that Caleb would like to take back. I think overall he played pretty well. There are a couple that I have question marks on that ended up getting pressure where he got pressured in the pocket. And I need to see it from a different angle, need to see it with an all 22, because there were times that Caleb had to peel out under pressure that the Giants secondary and their linebackers did a really nice job in pass coverage. Really, really, really good job. I was really surprised at how well they covered some pass opportunities. So there are 2 that I have question marks on. I need to see from a different view to see if it was just Caleb not pulling the trigger or if they really were covered and he had to peel out and split out. But again, overall, I thought Caleb played a really nice game. I thought there were some opportunities that he missed. He left the touchdown on the field as well with an overthrow of Odunze. But he felt the pressure well, moved when he needed to, and would maybe like to see him take off a split sooner on a couple opportunities instead of trying to make those throws downfield too.
A couple things I wanted to revisit also. You made the point during postgame regarding the now famous Darnell Wright block of Brian Burns, who got caught in a spin move exactly where you don't want to get caught. And that is without quite enough contact with the ground to allow you to keep your balance. And the fact that Darnell Wright shoved him down with one hand, if and when he makes the Pro Bowl or an All-Pro team, that's going to be shown as a highlight and will certainly be, when all is said and done, one of Darnell Wright's career highlights. He had a similar play against a safety where he used one hand to just kind of kick him out to the side as well, just to knock him away like Hulk in one of the CGI scenes in a Marvel movie. And it was pointed out by an emailer to us who said that don't forget, Darnell Wright was a state champion for shot put in West Virginia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when you talk about heavy hands is usually the scouting term when they will react to the way an offensive lineman can throw that punch. Those are heavy hands. And the ability over a short travel to get that kind of impact that he's got in there is pretty special. And maybe that does come from some shot put. That's because that really is quite a thing. Now, what I'm reminded of is, and this is it's a cross sport comparison, but you know the hockey move that is known as the spinorama?
Yep.
That Dennis Savard made famous. You know, Patrick Kane would use it every so often with the puck when you go into a defenseman and do the full spin. What you are taught to do is simply knock the guy over. That it's perfectly legal to deliver a check, that it is and how it's explained to me by a hockey coach is you're never going to be in a weaker position on the puck than when you're in the middle of that spin. And that is the perfect time for a defenseman just to put that guy on his ass. And that was exactly what happened right there. And obviously there's a difference in size and strength and weight and balance and all that. But that is, if somebody's going to try that spin move on you and you can time it up right, that is exactly what to do. Just knock him down.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, and and don't forget the somersault too. So he's pulling out to his right, trips over somebody's ankle, and then goes face first and turns it into a somersault and pops up like it was part of the play. Really, really good. Oh, there was one other catch I wanted to point out from it was a pass to OZ. Sorry to go back to this. No, I think it's important to point out. We initially would have called that a drop pass. But it actually didn't hurt the Bears because that was the play where there was a penalty called that ended up getting into a first down anyway.
There was illegal contact?
Yeah, the illegal contact, a penalty on, I want to say Rome, gets the penalty, and then the drop pass ends up not impacting the Bears because they still get the first down on it anyway. I'm just trying to find my notes where it was at, but it would have been, I think, a tougher, was it a tougher catch? But ended up not mattering anyway. Oh, yeah. No. It was definitely a drop. On target, in time, on target, drop ball, penalty, erased. It doesn't matter. So,
okay.
First down anyway. Yeah.
Maybe that's where I got the 7.
7, yes. Yeah.
That's right. Probably where I ended up with the 7 was on that one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Happened, but didn't happen as far as the official scoring goes.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Another thing that I hope you revisited was the non-penalty call on the knee to the head of Caleb Williams.
I did, and it really, really made me even more angry today rewatching it because hearing Greg Olsen go on and on and on about the Noah Sewell penalty, where he's being hit by three different Bears and kind of spins into Sewell while Sewell's already in his motion, and he hits him in the head. Not trying to say he didn't, and I know that's the letter of the law. You hit the quarterback's head, it's a penalty. And Greg Olsen was like, Bears fans, you can't be upset about it. That's the law. That's the rule. That's how it goes. It's on your onus. It's the onus of the defensive player.
Not on my onus.
Not on your anus either. It's the onus of the defensive player.
Off of my onus.
Well, hang on a second here. What is that noise? Hang on. Sorry.
Are you all right?
Yeah. No. It's my ghost phone. My phone, it just starts playing things randomly on its own. I think there's a ghost that controls my phone. Sorry about that. Let me just turn that bad boy off.
Are you sure it's not the person trying to loan me $63,000?
It's not. It's a ghost who operates my phone when I'm not.
Okay, but they keep leaving me these AI voicemails saying my loan has been approved.
Telling you should.
I should just take it.
So Greg Olsen is saying that it's responsibility of the defensive player to avoid the quarterback's head. Blah, blah, blah. He's going on and on and on.
And he's right.
He is right. He's 100% right. But then for him to totally just wash over the fact that Caleb Williams gets kneed in the back of the head, here's what he says. Now, Bears fans, he gets mad at the Bears fans for overreacting to the video replay. And he even said that's not a penalty. He's just jumping over him.
He's jumping over him and kneeing him in the head.
He makes a joke about it and calls it and refers to it. Now, come on, that's knee targeting. He tried to laugh it off and make a joke out of it. He hit the quarterback in the head where literally 3 minutes earlier you were saying it doesn't matter. You can't hit the quarterback in the head, and if you do, it's a penalty. That's just the rule of the law. That's how it goes.
It's a miss. Yeah,
you can't argue with it.
Yeah, he messed that up.
Not only to miss, but to double down and make a joke out of it. Though I thought was really surprising. That should have been a penalty. Doesn't matter if he's just jumping over his head. He kneed him in the back of the head. The quarterback sacrificed himself, gave it up. You can't touch the quarterback. There's nothing you can do there. And for him to just glass over it and say, it's just he's just jumping over him. It's not a big deal. It's a penalty. He hit him in the head. Period.
I thought for the most part, Greg Olsen had his typical great game, but that was undoubtedly a miss on his part. We're so used to that here, too. It began with the litany of calls that Justin Fields should
Never
have gotten and never could buy one. And the same thing seems to be happening with the ever elusive Caleb Williams. And it was the end of the slide, too, that I think that there can be some leeway given when somebody is completely in the air and making a reasonable effort to try to fire the retro rockets or change your flaps or whatever you have to do once you've launched yourself. I think it's fair, and it's hard in real time to do that, but to say, look, did this guy realize what was he slid into? What they say is it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, right? That's how it should be. It doesn't matter. If you hit the quarterback's head, it's a penalty. One other thing that I was kind of irritated, the Deshaun Wright interception, which gets knocked out of his hands, which is a great play by the receiver. The very next play, Tyreek Stevenson is held in the end zone on a play that he would have had an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and he's held. And Jaquan Brisker even runs over to the official, and you could see him motioning with the holding call. Like, how could you not see that call that? But Greg Olsen is so busy praising the wide receiver for the peanut punch. He totally just, again, glosses right over another play where there was an opportunity in the end zone. So you have the interception that's knocked away. You have a holding penalty that would have made a field goal more difficult by adding yards to it, and totally missed because he's just so busy talking about how great the peanut punch was on the part of the receiver, which it was. But yet, man, like I get being determined to get out what you want to get out. There's still a game going on. There's still a game happening. And that was part of the issue with the Caleb Williams slide as well. He's so busy talking about the play in the end zone and wants to show the replay and show what happened there and talk about it and share some things and teach you some things that he's like immediately glasses over what happened to Caleb Williams. So two opportunities there that I thought he really missed, which is unusual for Greg Olsen.
Forward Progress is brought to you, as always, by Beer Church Brewing, New Buffalo's brewery pizzeria in a historic church. Wood-fired Neapolitan pizza, small batch craft beer, brunch every day. Visit beerchurchbrewing.com. I know in a little bit you're going to talk again in this space about the experience that you had there over the weekend. I wanted to point this out too. And every week, every Monday, there are a couple of columns that I think are important. I always like to read in the Tribune what Brad Biggs writes in his 10 Thoughts. And Mike Sando of The Athletic also puts together something called Pick Six, where he similarly finds 6 things that he finds interesting. And The Athletic has what they call their playoff simulator. And it's no different than any other sort of metric, numbers-based playoff probability simulator. And what I find interesting is the Bears' current playoff probability is 0.3%, which is significantly lower than their preseason number. Before the season started, by this metric, the Bears had a 2.1% chance of making the playoffs, and now it's down to a mere 0.3. The Rams have gone up from 9.6 to a conference-leading 29.2, a change of nearly 20%. And then in order, it's the Eagles at 19.5, the Seahawks now at 17.9, who also made a major jump. Then the Lions, the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Niners, and then the Bears. Behind the Bears are Vikings, Falcons, Panthers, Commanders.
What's the Lions and Packers numbers?
The Lions were a preseason 13.1 and are currently at 14.7. The Packers were a preseason 13.9 and are currently at 10.5. So my guess is that strength of schedule of the teams the Bears have played and the teams the Bears will play is the overriding factor. The quality of opponent is the overriding factor in these numbers.
All right, hang on a second now, though. Let's see here. So it's the Vikings. The Vikings coming up this weekend.
Yep.
Then they are they host the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Packers currently a first place team. Browns. Packers. 49ers and Lions. Okay.
Yeah. And so my guess is that this reflects the pessimism in the algorithm due to quality of opponent. Otherwise, I don't really get it.
Yeah, the collapse of the Vikings, you get beaten badly by the Lions, beat the Cowboys, which are nothing to.
Right. It might also be the performance itself against the Lions is also what's weighing in.
Yeah, Raiders game, the Commanders, which was an exciting 1-point victory. Saints, which are not good, they lose to the Ravens and a backup quarterback. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't like it, but I can kind of understand it if there's a process to it. But
I'm not mad at anybody. It's not a person deciding this. It's just
but like logic and reason, you look at it and go, well, that doesn't make any sense. But I get it. I get it.
Kind of does. It kind of is a distillation of everything that we're kind of thinking while we are those of us who are enjoying the Bears at 6-3. Make no mistake, don't get angry. It's okay to be realistic. It is okay to hold the Bears at a high bar and a high level of expectation because their coach, Ben Johnson, says they'll be playing their best football in December. And if we hold him to that, they've got a long way to go, and they're going to have to prove that against much better teams. And I love the fact that he's saying it. I love the fact that he's aware of it. So I think it's possible to be really excited about a 6-3 start and also know that they have to play better if they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that's December games are Packers, Browns, Packers, 49ers. So that second game with the Lions at Soldier Field is in January. Will they be playing their even better than best football in January? Or
well, if it's good, better, best, what's after best?
I don't know. I just don't want to relive that 52 to whatever it was game.
No, I'm confident. I'm confident that the outcome will be a more positive one than that. I am very confident in that.
And with that late touchdown too yesterday, the Bears added another game of scoring at least 21 points in a game. It's only happened one time where they haven't so far.
Only one time that they haven't scored 21. It's pretty amazing. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be incredible. It shouldn't be amazing. This shouldn't be record-setting for the Bears. But it is because of their ignominious offensive history, to say the least. I mentioned that Beer Church is a friend of this program and of 312 Sports. Beer Church Brewing in New Buffalo, just a quick trip from Chicagoland to Northwest Indiana. Make a reservation right now to have a party at their pizza school because they're open year-round. They've got the heated patio with televisions everywhere, and it's just a different thing to do. It could be a small group of people. It could be a large group of people, but go to beerchurchbrewing.com and say, hey, we're going to bring people out and we're going to do the pizza making party there. You can just Google Beer Church Pizza School and book that private class. You'll learn everything about making real Neapolitan pizza because they know how to do it right. They know how to do it for real. You've been now, but you can get your hands on everything. You learn about exactly how to stretch the dough, why you're stretching the dough, how to get the ratios of the ingredients just right. And the best thing is you don't have to finish it and then wait a half an hour. It's maybe 2 to 3 minutes tops to get one of these pizzas out, and you're eating constantly. Or you can just have them keep bringing you pizza. The ones you make, the ones they make. You can enjoy their small batch brews. I'm sorry if my mouth is watering as I'm talking right now. I'm not kidding. Craft beer, wine, cocktail packages. Go to beerchurchbrewing.com. Enjoy everything on their menu. Enjoy the atmosphere, the company. It's just a great place, great people who really take the taste and quality of their food really seriously, but they don't take themselves seriously. They lean into the whole bit about being in a Civil War era church, and as far as their communion bread and all the names of everything in the menu that they call a hymnal, go and see the light and enjoy at Beer Church.
Yeah, they have the two pizza ovens, which I didn't know they had two. So there's the one in the outdoor eating area, and then there's the one indoor, which I sat right by, and I got to watch the pizziola.
See, I sat at the outdoor one.
Okay, yeah, I was indoors, and as I was watching, we were watching the games, TV's right there. The service is unbelievable. The people are all friendly, very friendly. Our server, her name was Jackie. She was fantastic, took great care of us, and was just very friendly and loved the beer church food itself and all the brews that we had. We actually had I had a non-alcoholic beer that was great. So there's those options there for you as well. But I'll tell you this, and now Dan, I've worked in restaurants, front of house, back of house for 20 years, and I've been to a lot of breweries that have food menus. Okay, now it's a casual dining menu. Okay, this isn't like a fine dining menu, but John, what he does with the ingredients is not just, it's not like brewery type ingredients. Like, oh, we're gonna have some food to go with the beer.
It's not bar food.
It's not bar food at all.
No, it's not bar food. No.
Because the ingredients don't allow that with the quality of what he uses. It's just it's not right. It's not right. That
it ain't right.
It ain't right. I mean, because the ingredients are not. It's not for bar food.
Yeah,
and it's not for a brewery. It's different. And getting to know his background a little bit, like what he did before he was doing this, it all makes sense. I'm like, all right, okay, I get it now. He understands the finer things in restaurants and hospitality, and it shows in the quality of the ingredients that he uses for all of his products. So I'm telling you, you're gonna go. We also, I didn't tell you what else I had on brunch day. I had that margarita and I had the Caesar. But I also
so people know, when he says margarita, he's not talking about the drink. He's talking about margherita with a GH, pizza margherita, which is fresh mozzarella, just the San Marzano tomatoes, and fresh basil.
That's it. That's a margarita pizza.
That's all. And maybe a drizzle of olive oil at the end.
But I also ordered the Reuben sandwich.
You did?
The Reuben, son of Jacob sandwich? Yes. Because I had to try it.
Love the Old Testament reference, yep.
And I ate half of it along with my pizza and my salad, and then the other half, I couldn't do more anymore, so I just ate all the meat out. And it was fantastic. It was so good.
Reuben, son of Jacob.
Reuben, son of Jacob. Yum. Yeah. And they do it in the homemade bread, and then it's right there in the pizza oven. Natalie did one of their 4 egg scrambles with prosciutto. Oh, dude, it looked awesome. I didn't have any. She loved the eggs though. She would eat eggs for every meal and said they were fantastic. But it was huge. Like, who does a 4 egg scramble?
I do sometimes at home. Right. I don't know that I've had one at a restaurant, but yes.
But I'm telling you though, and I'm not just saying it. I mean, the ingredients he uses are it's more than just bar food. It's more it's higher level than you'd expect from a brewery. It's all fantastic. But knowing John now, I get it. All makes sense.
Usually I have to mention that, hey, if you want to go for brunch, go on the weekends. No, brunch every day. There's always it's always brunch time when you go there, any day of the week. It's not a special Sunday brunch, not a Saturday brunch. If you like this stuff, that any day of the week you got brunch. It's so good.
Have to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm hungry. This show makes me hungry. All of our shows make me hungry. I think
we talk food a lot.
I know. We always end up doing that. Let's look around the league real quick at what we learned in sort of a topsy-turvy league. Jonathan Taylor's game for the Colts. Wow. He is putting on an all-timer of a show. It's pretty special stuff with the contact balance and the speed. That 83-yard run was the longest of his career, I believe, and just doesn't stop his feet. And how old is he now? Is he 20? Is he 28? You start.
Is he that old?
He might be. He's been out there a while, but Colts are real impressive.
Yeah, he's 26 years old.
Oh, is he? Okay,
he's only 26.
I'm wrong.
There are three guys right now in the MVP race for me, and Jonathan Taylor is one of them, along with Drake May and Matthew Stafford, who's having an unbelievable year, and they quite possibly could be the best team in the NFC, the Rams.
Yes. I don't think that's surprising at all. Absolutely, they could. And I keep seeing the Seahawks and reminding myself that I've got to get to know some of these Seahawks, because Jackson Smith-Njigba is also very, very quickly racking up some numbers that should put him in the conversation that you just discussed.
And just looking around the league real quick here, the Patriots with a win yesterday, an impressive win in Tampa, are 8-2. 2 games up on, or a game and a half up on the Buffalo Bills as they lose yesterday to the Dolphins in a really ugly game for Buffalo. Jets get their second win over Cleveland. The Steelers on top of that division, the AFC North, but they are not going to end up there when the season's done. They will lose that division to the 4-5 Baltimore Ravens right now. The Ravens will pass them and they will win the AFC North once again.
We're getting a little bit more information, by the way, about the firing of Brian Daboll by the Giants. Guess who is taking over as the Giants' interim coach?
Matt Eberflus.
Mike Kafka.
Oh, is he really? Northwestern guy,
Mike
right?
Kafka, Northwestern. I want to say he's a St. Rita guy, which means I have to do Farmio voice. Mike Kafka will be the Giants' interim coach, according to Adam Schefter. Kafka, we know, has been a finalist for head coaching jobs, but Northwestern and St. Rita, their assistant head coach and offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, is going to have the helm of the Gents. Good luck to him.
The Colts on top of the AFC South, I think they're leading in point differential as well, too, at a plus 115, which is insane. The Denver Broncos at 8-2, the Chargers 7-3, the Chiefs are 5-4. The Chiefs are on the outside of the playoff picture right now.
And I don't know the extent to which I believe in the Broncos either.
Really? Their defense is legit.
Yeah, but the quarterbacking's all over the place.
Yeah,
just when you think it looks terrific, he'll throw a scud. So I don't know.
That's kind of the theme of the story this season for that draft class right now. Eagles at top of the NFC East at 6-2. They play in Green Bay tonight. Packers currently on top of the NFC North. I still think it's the Lions division to win. Buccaneers have a game and a half lead on the Panthers at 6-3. Panthers are 5-5, and then the Seahawks and the Rams are both 7-2, with the 49ers at 5-4.
We should mention, I think some good news came out from the Bears game as well. I did not see an injury report that looked like much. There were a couple guys that left the game and came back in. I know DJ Moore was one of those. CJ Gardner-Johnson was one of those. But as I watched in the post game, as GJ was getting his game ball, it certainly didn't look like he was moving with any disability. We'll find out more, and we'll have plenty of Bears sound for you tomorrow on this program as well. But it looks like the Bears are all right. Happy to see that Luther Burden came back from being out a week with a concussion and caught all 3 of his targets for 50-some yards. So free Luther Burden. I want definitely more from him. But
the Niners are actually 6-4. I misspoke, said 5-4. Okay. They're 6-4. Looking at the receptions, Roma Dunze, 10 targets, 6 catches. Colson Loveland, 4 targets on 4 catches for 55 yards. Luther Burden, 3 targets, 3 catches, 51. DeAndre Swift had 8 targets and 5 catches. OZ with 4 and 1. Cole Kmet, 2 and 1. DJ Moore, 4 targets, 0 catches. And Kyle had the 1 target that he dropped out of the backfield for no catches.
All right, so another big week for the Bears. We're going to have plenty of Bears sound for you when we reconvene Forward Progress tomorrow, but that's going to do it for this one. Bears are 6-3 and have plenty of room to grow, to follow through on exactly what Ben Johnson has promised, that their best football remains ahead of them, and the Bears have become coach killers.
That's what they are. That's what they are. As we'll get into this week too. Looking forward to the Vikings. We have Tim Jenkins coming on Forward Progress on Thursday. We'll have a Vikings report on Friday as we get more into looking at the Bears Vikings game, the revenge game from the Week 1 loss.
All good. That's going to do it for Forward Progress today. Thanks to Beer Church. I'm Bernstein. That's Abatacola. Back with you tomorrow.